KBGA Missoula, thank you for tuning in to Missing 中国 with your host Dr. San. Now it's time for a little chat about our thinking. So how are anger and hatred related? Let's first ask Mr. C about it. So what do you think? How are anger and hatred related?
Well, I think that anger is an energy that's caused by hatred. So if somebody hates me, they're going to cause me to get angry. Now, some people would say, oh, you should turn the other cheek if somebody offends you. But that, of course, is nonsense. We are animals after all, and in nature, you will notice animals don't turn the other cheek, not if they don't have to. So anger is the result of hatred. And one thing I'm tired of seeing is people who get angry because somebody has exhibited hatred against them, and the person who gets angry is somehow seen as the bad person. If you step on my toes first and I shove you off of my toes, you're still the one who was in the wrong.
Very interesting. Do you think anger and hatred can exist in one person or one side?
Of course, it's possible if somebody exhibits a lot of hatred and then receives a lot of anger as a result of their hatred, sooner or later they're going to get angry as well. But that anger is a different anger. Again, anger is always the result of hatred. So a person who is filled with hate, and I don't mean the generic ABC after school special, oh, don't be a racist kind of hate. I mean hatred of any kind, whether it's jealousy, jealousy is usually what leads to hatred. That person who is filled with hatred will eventually become angry, but they are angry at themselves. That's the big difference there. They have filled themselves up with hatred, and like I said, hatred begets anger. So even within themselves, they feel anger, but the anger is at themselves.
Wow, very interesting. And so, can I say that you mean hatred comes first and then anger?
That's correct. So if we're talking about the human animal, we know if we're to take psychology seriously, we know that the human animal is essentially tribal, and when the human animal meets or encounters someone from a different tribe, they go into a kind of protective state based on what psychologists call the other. Now, it's irrational from an intellectual point of view. It is irrational to get that way. But that's really the origin of hatred is, oh, that person is different from me, and I'm afraid of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to protect myself with hatred. And of course, then that person becomes angry, and that's how wars start.
Wow, okay. It's a lot to digest, but we're not a talk show program, so we're going to talk about this in our next show as well. And if you have anything, any comment about it or any idea about it, just go to Spinachon and we can chat.
But keep it civil.
Of course, right? Don't bring your hatred and anger into offensive words. Is that right?
That's correct.
Thank you, Mr. C, and enjoy the songs.